Hi, this is Mindy with Magnolia Textures. This tutorial is for the FrameIT Damask Action Set. I will show you how to load it and how to run the action. First, you will make sure your Action tab is open. If it's not open, you will go to the Window drop-down and make sure that Actions is checked. Once you have your Actions panel open, you will come up to these lines on the upper top of the tab here and going to click there and go to Load Actions. You will load the FrameIT Damask action. And then you will load the patterns and the contours. To do that, you will go to Edit, Preset, Preset Manager, Preset Type, Patterns, Load, and choose the file that you downloaded with your set, FrameIT Damask Patterns, Load. Then you will go to Contours, Load, FrameIT Damask Contours, Load, and click Done. So let's look at the action. The way I have it set up is the first section is for mats and the second section is for a couple of frames. This particular action set is called Antique Damask. I have a cream, silver, and gold, both in high resolution and low resolution. So if you've already saved your file down like a web file at most saved down to 72 dots per inch or around that, you would want to run this action because everything is sized based as far as patterns go, based on the size of a lower resolution image. If you're working with your original PSD file and you haven't saved it down yet and you want to just run it on that, you can do this as well. And then once you have your mat and your frame on there, if you ran it through the high resolution, you can always save a web version of that once you're completed. So I will show you both. This action set actually works on vertical images as well as horizontal images. So we'll run it on a high resolution image. I'm going to run the first one. Double matte antique damask cream, high res. Now this image size, just to give you an idea, is somewhere about 13 by 20 at 300 dots per inch. I will hit play. Okay, so it ran the action. It put this very beautiful damask pattern style on here, a cream version. This message will come up. It says to change the matte color for the inside mat, which is this gray one here, you will double click on the Mat 1 layer to open up Layer Styles dialog. Click on Color Overlay in the Styles list, which would be here. This will allow you to change the color thumbnail, which in turn will change the mat to a different color. So I'm going to double click on that. First I will hit stop. You want to get out of the message. I'll also have this note here that it's recommended to pick your color from the image so that it coordinates better. So I'm going to click stop and I'm going to go to this color overlay effect here. Double click. The layer style dialog will open right up onto the color overlay tab. So currently it is a gray color. If you double click on it or just click on it once, you will get the color picker tool. You can pick from here or anywhere in here, but as I said before, you can come and click a color from the image if you don't like the gray, just to kind of coordinate colors with your mat. Click OK and OK, and then you're done. Um, Now I also have a couple of frame options here. Let's just run this first one. Now we're still on a high resolution image. And just so you know, this particular layer here is on a separate tab. It is not going to do anything to your original layers. For instance, if you're working on a PSD file, you want to note that it's not going to mess with your image. It's just going to make a duplicate copy of it and then flatten it and then add all the mats and frames after. So each time you run the action, I will note it will add another tab. In case don't like it, you can always go back to the previous tab. So let's run a frame on it. We're going to click on Stone Frame 300 DPI because this image is a higher resolution image. Hit play. And it puts this beautiful travertine style stone frame on your image. Now at this point, if you wanted to save this out as a web image, you would just do File, Export, Save to Web, and it will save the whole image down to 72 dots per inch, just as it is here. But as I said before, if you're already working with a low resolution image, you do have the options, the same action, but for lower res images. I'm going to also run it on this horizontal style image just so you can see it does work on any image. I'm going to try the silver matte. And it puts this beautiful damask silver. I'm going to click on the color overlay here. I'm going to change that color to maybe something pastel-y. That looks pretty good, a little lime green. Click OK. Then maybe run a black frame on it here. We want to make sure we check, since we are in the high res images, we want to make sure we pick the high res action, which is the 300 DPI. Play. And you have your black frame. It's actually a black wood frame, which is really nice. Complements a lot of images. Black pretty much goes with anything. So we will note that again, each time you run the action, it will create a tab for each. So if you're not happy with this frame, you simply just close it and go back to your mat. Now, let's say for some reason you wanted a bigger sized mat. You simply have to choose the mat again and just run it again, and it will double the size. Just like that. So I hope you enjoy it. Play around with these. You can play around with the effects on each layer, and maybe change the colors of the inside mat and maybe do some creative things with the pattern of in the layer styles dialog. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will be having more of these sets. This particular set is called the Damask Pattern Set. So I'm gonna try to put together small sets because I know I started out with a huge amount actions for this, and I thought maybe it would be a little overwhelming for some, so I'm going to do them in pieces. So this first one is a damask set, and I will send out emails to all my subscribers whenever the next set after this one comes out. So enjoy and have fun with it. Thanks so much.